Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live! Yeah.
Kia ora and welcome to today's Radioactive Live on 88.6 FM, brought to you by New Zealand On Air Music. I'm Charlotte, your host, and today is one of the last of our Twisted Takeover live to airs, and I'm excited to welcome Talmar to the show today. How are you doing?
Kia ora, I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be in Te Whanganui Atara just before Christmas too, so it feels really special to, close off the season.
Yes, beautiful. Very excited to hear some of your tunes. Now Talmar is the solo musical project of Hannah Berry, blending together club-friendly experimentalism with elements of dark wave and industrial music. Her previous releases are characterised by moody textures, dramatic electronic arrangements, and ethereal affected vocals. A perfect fit for Twisted Frequency, and I'm very excited to get a bit of a taster today on Radioactive Live. Should we jump into the first track?
Yeah, let's do it.
Awesome. awesome. Thank you. Can you tell us a bit about that track?
So that's actually the last track that I've recently completed. So a bit of the process was interesting. It actually started with a song I've been kind of sitting on for years and years, mostly bounced out, kept listening to it, but it just kind of wasn't sitting right with me. I tend to write lyrics and the top line stuff last. I'm very much a lyrics last kind of girly. But nothing was gelling. So what I actually did is I actually used that song for the intro and just like affected it and just like effed around with it as much as possible. And so that's actually the intro. And then the rest of it kind of wrote itself. So it's kind of like, I don't know, I think you kind of need to like wrestle with a song sometimes and struggle to like kind of earn the ones that kind of write themselves. Kind of, I don't know if it's superstitious or so that's kind of how that came about. You kind of need a bit of resistance, and then you can kind of earn the one that you don't have to fight too much.
Yeah, nice. I feel like that's quite an interesting outlook on creating a song, where I feel like some people would often just like have that struggle with it and then never go past that, like the step to build onto it. But it's quite cool where you have a bit of a wrestle for it to become what it is, and it's sounding great. So that's awesome that you did have a bit of a fight with it and it's come to a great product song in the
pin
end.
it down, get on all fours.
Yeah, it's great.
Find out.
And now for the listeners, can you tell us a bit about kind of what sparked you starting your sonic project of Talmar and creating music, some background?
Yeah, sure. So I came from a really musical family. My dad, stepdad, mum are all musicians. Actually, more from the covers world, interestingly. I've kind of had a really funny journey is where I've kind of gone about it backwards by starting by doing my own stuff as opposed to starting in a more traditional route, learning other songs. I've always written and made music on and off here and there, but then I didn't really start taking it a bit more seriously until my mid-20s, and was in a couple of different bands, and then, really decided to push my own stuff a couple of years ago. There was a show locked in with a previous band, but that band actually imploded as they do before the date rolled around. And I thought, oh, well, maybe I can just put myself forward. So in a way that kind of was a make or break moment. And so I was like, oh, okay, guess I can do this. Just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. I feel like that's quite cool as well, like the evolution of it and just coming into your own sound and, finding your own style of music, which is really cool. And your music, as I previously mentioned, has got a bit more like kind of darker and moody textures, but it is quite club friendly, like you can groove a bit to it. So how do you go about creating each of your different tracks? Do you like consciously think about the mood and the kind of vibe of the song? I know you mentioned lyrics last, but how do you go about the actual production of the song?
Yeah, I've become more intentional about the sort of mood and vibe and what sort of BPM I want to create. I'm really inspired by other music and other things I hear out, but I think the thing that spurs me on the most is being able to test songs live, and playing live is my favourite because you can feel what a song does in the moment, how it responds to that night or that crowd, and afterwards you kind of like, oh damn, I need to write more bangers, something like that. And like, oh my gosh, that was way drearier than I expected. Like, so I like that aspect of just kind of trying to sculpt and mold kind of what sort of vibe you want to create, because I think that's a really cool thing about performing music. You can kind of like set an intention for like what sort of vibe you want to make. You're kind of like, kaitiaki off the vibe in your own way, and that how it's always something you can kind of sculpt as you write.
Sure. Yeah, that's awesome. And I understand that you have a bit of a background in visual arts too, and I feel like the visual world is very like intertwined with the sonic world as well. So do you feel that, I guess, that kind of side of things brings in quite a big part when you're making music, and also in your live sets as well, being quite like visually engaging?
Yeah, I have done shows where I have created visuals to project. Haven't done that so much this year, but I do. Yeah, actually, I do have grand plans for future shows on getting more of the visual and lighting projection side of things going. But yeah, I think, and with lyrics too, I'm like really big on trying to do world building however I can. Try and think, okay, am I creating an environment with the lyrics? Like I try to paint a picture as much as possible, as opposed to, I don't know, just pure feelings or documenting something. And yeah, although I feel like the visual side of things, like there's still more ways it can overlap with the music. So I think that's something like I'm going to try and push more next year.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I'll be keeping an eye out for it because I love when, you go to something, especially a live scene, and the visuals are really compelling and go along really nicely with the music too. So that's really exciting. You've got some plans in the works. And you've had like a string of releases as well over the last couple years. And I guess you were talking about as well your music going to a live, and then you can hear it there and know if it needs to be a bit more dancey or like change the vibe a little bit. And the latest track that you released, Mercurial, is a bit more dance focused, I guess, compared to some of your older tracks. So how else do you think your music has kind of shifted over time, and where do you see it going in the future?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question, because that is literally what I think about quite a bit. Like again, with if I sit down to write something, create something, it's not only like the vibe I want to create, the tempo, how it makes your body feel in a room, but thinking about what sort of room or venue or environment I can imagine it going in. So I try and just think about bigger and bigger spaces, and I feel like that's like kind of a good brief to write to. Like, am I imagining this being played in a church or a small room or like a club or a bigger venue? Like that's kind of, it helps make a lot of decisions for you, giving yourself that brief.
Yeah, for sure. So is that something you're going to kind of work in a bit more in the future as well with music that you're releasing, is like the different venues and spaces that you'll be performing in?
For sure.
Yeah, very exciting stuff. That's quite a cool outlook on how your music evolves, is with the spaces, which is really fascinating. Do we want to get into the second song?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you.
away by shadows, stripped away by sunrise, stripped away by shadows, stripped away by sunrise, stripped away by shadows, stripped away by sunrise.
Thank you. That sounded amazing. Could you tell us a bit about that track?
True story. It's not that deep, but a lot of, or maybe it is actually. Yeah, it is. I'll own it.
Yeah.
A lot of the lyrics from that song actually came from seeing the ancient Egyptian exhibition that was at Auckland Museum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there was actually a section that talked about the Book of the Dead and the afterlife and all the different things that can happen. How if you come to the end of your life, your heart is judged, against the weight of a feather and all of that stuff. So that's actually where a lot of the imagery and the lyric ideas came from. But of course, it could be interpreted any which way. But yeah, I just thought I'd be real direct with where a lot of it came from. And mercurial, it's relevant because I'm a Virgo and Mercury's our ruling planet. So I was just oh, why not? So it's kind of a meeting of those two things.
Yeah, nice. I feel like that's a super interesting background and getting inspiration from other elements too, which is so cool. And it sounded amazing. I do love that one because that's the song that is released last year.
Yeah.
But the most recent, I guess. But yeah, I've been loving that song. It's so
Thank
fun.
you.
And now, as we have mentioned, you're playing at Twisted Frequency Festival coming up very soon now. So how are you feeling for that?
Oh, so just a correction, it's not Twisted Frequency, but I am playing at Gathering Shadows
Oh, okay.
at Valhalla, and that's on Friday, 16th of January. Well, it's a 2-day festival.
Yeah.
So I'll be playing on Friday, 16th of January, and that will be with Erase Everything, who are also from Tamaki, and quite a few other local acts. Integument is also playing, and they are playing Twisted Frequency,
Oh,
from what I've
awesome.
seen as well. So playing that, and tomorrow night I'm playing Moon Bar as part of a fundraise for Outline Aotearoa, and that's going to be a super fun show. Big thanks to Lucky, aka Beatworks, who's been the driving force behind that. I will also be joined by Vanessa Tottle, who is from Tamaki as well. So she will be joining in that. And yeah, it's going to be a really fun night.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. It sounds like you've got a busy few, weeks over the New Year period coming up anyway.
A couple of pots simmering on different irons.
That's awesome. And how are you feeling for these shows? Are you excited for them?
Yeah, really excited. And it's just always nice just getting a bit of novelty playing outside of Auckland.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess we mentioned earlier about how you quite, in tune with your spaces that you play in and shifting the music for each different space. So for these shows coming up, how are you going to, make the music fit into the space that you're playing at for both the different events?
I think having shows like that, it is a good, it does put my feet over the fire a little bit, just with the other, really awesome acts I'll be playing with. It really does make you want to step up however you can. Also, it's a good prompt to finish more material and try that out as well. So that's another really good thing about playing live is you really want to keep it fresh and interesting for yourself. So having those kind of almost mini deadlines in the form of shows in the future is good for, making you try and get stuff done. But of course, the things are finished when they finish and they come when they come.
Yeah,
so it's
definitely.
a little bit of both.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. It'll be quite cool to see how the different sound translates into the different venues as well with all the other acts. I guess there's so many different elements that you incorporate when getting a set together for the different shows, which is really cool. And I guess I'm not too in tune with the tamaki scene, being based here in Wellington. So how has it been there at the moment? And like, I guess, how does the electronic kind of community there shape your sound as a musician?
Yeah, I'm not too. I mean, I think there's different scenes and things. The types of shows I've played and helped put together have been more on the multi-genre side of things, and I think there is a change in attitude. Like, people are more open to multi-genre bills instead of like, oh, I only listen to house music, so I'm only going to go to a house music gig. Or some people are like, oh, well, there's no guitars on stage, I can't do it, you know. So I think people are like, whereas I'm personally kind of like, oh, you know, give us everything, like, you know, show me what you're made of. And I think more people are open to having like kind of mixed bag bills. Like I've opened for racing, and we'll also be opening for racing next Tuesday for a Christmas show. So again, I think, you know, in Tamaki, Auckland is like a more open to novelty and surprises than maybe one would think.
Yeah, that's awesome. That sounds super cool.
Yeah, so I think people are quite embracing of something that's like a little bit different and like, oh, I don't usually listen to, but like I quite liked it.
Yeah. No, that sounds awesome. It's definitely good to kind of get out of your comfort zone as well, and have a look at what else is out there, which is so cool to hear that that's what's happening. Are there any particular influences up in Tamaki that you want to shout out, or that have like helped build a community in the music scene up there for you?
Yeah, so for sure, definitely gonna shout out some acts I've done quite a few shows with before recently, and also others in the pipeline. So Vanessa Toddle, as I mentioned, did a show with her and Max Dicey in July, and we've got a few other things in the pipeline, so stay tuned about that. And she'll also be playing Moonbar tomorrow. So she's quite trip hoppy. But yeah, she's been quite key in helping make things happen and drive things. I've also played a couple of shows with Paradox Princess, who has also played a few Wellington shows, I'm pretty sure. So there's definitely a lot of kind of like electronic type acts, but that also overlap into their other styles, and everyone has their own unique voice and point of view artistically, which is really cool as well. Yeah,
definitely. No, that's so cool. I feel like it's so important to recognize the communities around us that help shape, I guess, your musicianship as well, which is so lovely. Do we want to get into the final song for today?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
of day, seething in the skies, ravenous gaze, break of day, at the break of day, can't you see how much I want to say? Awaiting a higher significance, or burning the fires of permanence, chronic and frantic heights to pass time. Hidden powers see them go, hidden powers see them go. I want to see it right before me, I want to feel it in my bones. I can see it from the center. I want to know what hear the call. I want to see it right before me. I want to feel it in my bones. I can see it from the center. Or will you save it from the cold? Break of day, at the break of day, seething in the sky, ravenous gaze. Break of day, at the break of day, can't you see how much I want to say? Break of day, at the break of day, seething in the skies, ravenous gaze. Break of day, at the break of day, can't you see how much I want to say? I want to say. 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 Carried away.
Gorgeous, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about that last one?
Oh, okay. So for that one, yeah, I will go deep on this one. Why not? So the lyrics are basically about like knowing something's coming into your life, be it that, it can be a good thing or a bad thing, but something that, that could be life changing, just feeling it on the horizon, just kind of thinking, I feel like something's going to change. I don't know what it is, and kind of, both being ready for it, not ready for it, kind of calling it in and just, being open to all of that. Maybe it sounds vague, but just kind of, you just kind of get a feeling sometimes that, something's going to come into your life or going to happen or change, and just kind of embracing that.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I've definitely had that feeling before, so I know what you're meaning, but it sounded great. I feel like I can feel those emotions through the song, which is great. And now, for the listeners at home, where are they able to find you and keep up to date with any new music and shows coming up?
Sure. So you can listen to my stuff on Bandcamp and other usual streaming platforms. I do also have the social media handles, your Instas and Facebooks and things. But in terms of shows, yeah, I kind of sporadically post when and where I'm going to be playing. So yeah, generally the Instagram grid is probably the best message board for that sort of thing. Yeah, should be more onto it in that aspect. But yeah, I think that's probably the best protocol for keeping up to date with things like that.
Perfect. Awesome. And now here at Radioactive, we do a little thing where I'll get the last active live to give me a question to pass on to you, and then I'll get a question from you which we'll pass on to the next active live, which will probably be next year. But your question is just 2 of the top influences that you bring to your music.
Top influences. Honestly, a big influence to me. I mean, maybe it's obvious or not. Maybe it's not, but honestly, Skinny Puppy probably had one of the biggest influences on me as a teenager. Yeah, it was like quite mind blowing to me as a 15 whatever year old at Bricknell College on the North Shore of Auckland. I was just like, oh wow, I've never heard anything like this before. Like there were so many things I didn't know was possible. Like you could do stuff like that with sound. So I don't really know if I'm doing that or borrowing from that, but I feel like that has informed just thinking about how sounds like make you feel and like how you can push it and
Yeah, for sure.
As for a second influence, think about this one a little bit more. And honestly, 9 Inch Nails probably had a big influence on me.
Yep.
It probably goes for a lot of people. I'm not going to get like too deep cut with like, this specific, but it's like, so I think those are top 2
Yeah,
for me.
that's great.
Again, just kind of think about what's possible, what you can do with sound, like, you can make a beat by dropping a computer and recording it and like looping it and like messing around with it.
For sure, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
And have you got a question for us to pass on to the next active live?
I do actually. So for a lot of artists, a big goal is to get a scene on, say, like a TV show or a movie or something. So for the next artist, what would your dream sync be? Like if you could name any movie or TV show or even a film franchise, like what would your dream one be for your music to be set to?
Yeah, awesome. That's a great question. Well, I just want to say a massive thank you, Talmar, for coming in for today's Active Live on Radioactive FM. Such a pleasure to hear some of your tunes today. And of course, a huge thanks to New Zealand On Air Music for making this all possible. I've been Charlotte, your host, and you're tuned in to Radioactive FM 88.6. Thank you.
Thank you.
Active Live. Friday, 3:30. Every week a new band. In studio. Brought to you by NZ On Air.